This complex, the Havelock City, is actually a tribute to Mr. S.P. Tao and his commitment to Sri Lanka. I told Mildred, now you're virtually a Sri Lankan citizen. So let's think of where the next investment is going to be. I first got to know Mr. Tao in 1994 as I became Prime Minister. He had started on the World Trade Center, and after Mr. President Premadasa passed away, Mr. late Sirisena Kure brought him along to meet me. That's how I first contact started with Mr. S.P. Tao. I met him many times, and not only late Mr. S.P. Tao, but also Mildred. Then I must say the commitment is such that when the LTT attacked the World Trade Center, a lot of people are wondering whether they will pull out. Instead of which, when I asked Mr. Tao, he says, no, I'm going to stay here. So first, thank you for that confidence in Sri Lanka's future. When it was over and I was Prime Minister, in 2003, again I met Mr. S.P. Tao here. I may be meeting him on and off. And he wanted to start a new project. And the new project came along that looked at the Havelock Town Vellavatta spinning and weaving mills land, which was abandoned. So some people said, why do you want to give it? We can have some industry or business. But I said, Havelock Town was started as a residential area. So let's look at this. This will be really, the development will start with Havelock City. I had known this place earlier. When I was small and the Vellavatta spinning and weaving mills were functioning, I used to come here because Mr. Captain, Soli Captain's father, was in charge of the mills. We used to have lunch there, and also we were taken along to look at the mills. Then in 1975, when I entered politics, Mr. President Jayawardena, who was then the MP for Colombo South, asked me to take over Vellavatta North. Now this was known as the Vellavatta North ward. And I used to come here, and one of our meeting places was the old workers' residence at the other end of the complex. So in fact, I told Mr. S.P. Tao, whatever you do, ensure that the workers who lived there were looked after, which he did. So I was more than happy. Here was the area that I had known. Here was the area I was in first charge of. And why not? I took over Biyagama next and started the zones there. So I thought, why not have one here in Havelock Town? No better person than Mr. S.P. Tao to start it off. So it is this venture, the results which we see today. Many people were involved in it. In fact, I see Rohini Nanayakkara, who was involved from the very beginning in this project. She's telling me, don't tell her age. Okay. I'm not telling the age, I only say that you are involved. There's Ajit, Jayaratna, many others who are involved in the project. So I must again say thank you. I really feel sorry that Mr. S.P. Tao was not here. After all, he had gone up to 105. But nevertheless, this is a tribute to Mr. S.P. Tao, and I think we should put it down as such. So I look forward to another investment, as I said, from the company. This will have to be Mildred's investment. Remember, this is not your investment. This is S.P. Tao's investment. So now we got to make one for Mildred. But I want to also tell you that we have to now seriously look at foreign investment replacing foreign loans as our main source of income. We have to become export-oriented industry, economy, and we have to keep increasing our foreign investments. Now, if we are to keep increasing our foreign investments, we must have outward-looking economy. We can't have inward-looking economy. So now, as the economic stabilization is taking place and the discussions are on between Japan, China, India in regard to the main creditors, in regard to how we restructure the debt, we are also looking at how we can now go back to reviving growth and high growth. And one of the biggest issues we have is our number of government agencies. There is a complex of investment agencies. You go through BOI, you go through Tourist Board, you go through some other ministry, then you go to Port City, and then you come back to where you started. Then you do a second round. After about 10 years, you can get an investment through. Now, this just won't work. When we came in 1977, we started the Greater Colombo Economic Commission. There, the decisions were taken quickly. And really, in 10 years, we got 4 zones going. That is, Katunayaka, Biyagama, then Koggala, and Sitawaka. Four zones, and Pallakale, Mr. Vijayatunga wanted. After that, what are the big zones you have started? The whole system has broken down. The tourist board, all people are just going around. We go out for various fairs and we come back. Everyone has a good holiday. So the first issue what we are doing is I appointed a committee, which is now looking at the whole structure and the authorities for investment. What this committee is recommending and they are working on is that the BOI, the EDB, and SLESIC, Sri Lanka Export Credit Insurance Corporation, be brought together as one investment promotion agency. Secondly, the industrial estates, investment zones will be broken off. We are good. I think Katunayaka and Biyagama are some of the best zones in South Asia. And go in a separate company that will do so, because now we are looking at 1,000-acre zones, starting with certainly with Bingiria, but also coming down to Hambantota and one in Trincomalee. So we are going big. So let there be a separate corporation that will handle this. Then comes the laws. All those laws we have to cut through and go back to the GCEC system. When the investment is there, the organization has 2 weeks to make their remarks, and thereafter final decision is taken by the organization. That is the only way. Secondly, to develop the quality of human resources, manpower available, look at the infrastructure. If we have this, we need not give 40-year tax holidays. We should have an efficient bureaucracy and efficient infrastructure to ensure that investments can take off. Therefore, we will be focusing mainly on zones, whether it be for manufacturing, IT, or even tourism, rather than have people locating everywhere they want. We went very fast under GCC because we ran a zone system. So this is the new system we are looking at. How to open up. There will be many laws that will be changed. And some will shout at each step and say that we are betraying the country. So remember that propaganda will go on. But we must have fast growth. We have gone down. It doesn't mean we have to stay down. Sri Lankans can be a football. You hit it, send it down, and then it comes up again. So that's what we have to be, and we have to go all out. We have number of people who are leaving. Okay, we can't stop that. We'll train more people. We have to modernize the education system. So that's what we are working on. While we are looking at the stabilization measures, which we are working with the IMF, certainly we are also looking at modernizing the economy, looking at Industry 4 and how we go ahead. Another area of interest, our focus is going to be agriculture, modernize agriculture. There's so much land available. I thought I'll share with you what we are now working on, because by end of the year we'll be able to announce many of the measures that we're going, and by early next year get the legislation enacted. So there will be far more other measures to be taken, an offshore economy law, but this is all to make Sri Lanka an investor-friendly country, and when investors come in, we will certainly have more employment, higher incomes, and certainly we will get off these vicious cycles of foreign borrowings that we have to do. We can't do this a second time. So let's make up our mind. Let us commit ourselves to going forward to promoting more and more foreign investment. Before I conclude, I'd like to say Mr. S.P. Tao had a lot of faith in Sri Lanka. He looked at the locations and he said, this is a good point, even better than China or India. I also had the same view. So let's hope it succeeds. Thank you.